This is the second episode of Sunflower Sundays. As you can see here, the sprouts were getting too big and growing out of the pot, so we had to replace them. In order to do this, I laid them out, and as you can see, my brother is helping to replant them. So what I had to do is I had to dump it out of the bucket, make sure to completely get it out of the pot, and make sure the roots weren't still sticking, and it was kind of all out, which was difficult to do, and I had to shake it a couple of times. You can still see the napkins I put in for the water, and they stayed there too, and the roots ended up kind of growing around them, so I had to pull those out. But if you look, you see some staining. That is just the water going through, so since it's not all too stained, I wasn't over-watering them or anything.
Well, Dad, I don't know what this is.
Now, I did have to work on breaking these roots apart so that they could all have their each separate place, which took a while as you want to be gentle with the sprouts. And looking at the earlier sprouts, you could also see they were broken off. That's okay, as long as the root's still there, the sprout is going to get back up again. I tried to place them back down separately so that the roots weren't all too stuck together, but some of them would be better to just not really do all of that.
I know. Ricky's calling me this and calling me that. And sadly, she's talked crap about you.
Now, you may notice the dates aren't there like last time. That's just purely because of the fact that tracking the growth every single day wasn't all that practical, so we're deciding to do it once every week. And also, to add on to that, there was just too much video, so it was better to just show what we did, which was replanting them this week. We'll see how much better they sprout when they're put into bigger places and don't just have that little pot and are confined to not only the little bit of soil they have, but the little bit of space as their other roots fighting against them. I had to do that for every pot, so went ahead and did 2 separate recordings. Here you could also see the little sunflower seeds. When they sprout up, the little seed capsule comes off because the sprout inside the plant is what sprouts up. Again, it was kind of difficult to shake it out of the potter, but I had to do it as gently as possible, which is shown there. That was sarcasm. But this really does seem more aggressive than it is. It's just because of how frail the sprouts are. But it's not hurting them whatsoever, and even if it was, it's okay as long as there's a root. They're just going to grow back anyway. Plants are pretty resilient in that aspect. So here I did also have to try to work on breaking apart the soil so that the roots would be able to soften up and separate from the pot. The roots did end up kind of growing down the bottom of the pot because I did honestly take too long to get them out, but it's out now and that's what matters. There was a lot of shaking here, but I finally got it out, and I showed the tissue at the bottom. So you could see here that the color was a little different. The holes, there was some water that I spilled watering them since I didn't have a spray can or anything. But other than that, it's pretty even color. As I was saying earlier about the roots sticking, we kind of did that here, so I struggled with that a bit. But I managed to pull it out with not too much root damage. So pulling the roots doesn't matter that much as long as it's not too pulled apart and the roots are still attached to the plant. It's only really a problem when the roots are completely disconnected from the stem and there's no way for it to get water to continue growing. However, that didn't happen here. Just some roots kind of broke, but the sunflower is going to be alright. As for the tissue I was talking about earlier, it is slightly discolored because of the soil seeping through and just the water in general, but it's not too bad. I only kept it there because when you are watering, it's meant to go through the holes over time, and I need something to soak up that water. I made sure to put 2 of one type of napkin and 4 of a third type of napkin to make sure that it was absorbing as much water as possible. But here I just focused on separating it, pulling it apart, and not breaking all of the roots, which I did a pretty good job at. So, the stem and root rounding out is the result of 2 small pods, but they'll straighten out, so put them into the ground, which is exactly what we did. We put them back in the ground and some in potters, as you see here, But otherwise, the roost will be fine. See you in a week.